Hey, my name is Ayana Freedom. We're going to be working with the 12 body agreements to release stress, bring in joy, racial trauma healing, collective healing, healing marginalized and oppressed communities, healing your body, ways to rest and release hustle culture, ways to nurture yourself, cultivating your tribe and being present with them, loving the fuck out of your body, and what the fuck is menopause? Join me for this journey of getting your mind, body, and spirit the fuck unstuck.
Happy fucking New Year. Happy 2025, bitches. Hi, Blessing.
Hi.
How you feeling today, kid?
Good.
Good. What else? Let's just give me some words. How else are we feeling today?
Amazing.
Amazing. All right, two more. Give me two more words.
Strong.
Strong. All right.
Powerful.
Powerful. Cool. So we are back. We took a little break. But in this moment in time, let's kind of like just be aware of what's happening. So
MLK Day.
MLK Day. And it's like the coldest year in history in like, I don't know, 14 years or something like that. Mm-hmm. Obviously, not because of MLK, but because of MLK's trying to ice out Trump. So yes. There's that. Yeah. So my stomach's feeling a little like off today. I'm trying to like process all that. As this, it feels like a transition that's funky. That's the best way I can describe it. I don't know what's gonna happen. I'm a little nervous, a little scared. My body's certainly revolting.
The thing about just what Trump's doing is a little wheezy.
Like makes your stomach queasy? Wheezy? What are we saying?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. I'm feeling that too. Fires and destruction, which is unfortunate. So sending love and peace to all those folks who lost their homes. The war is still happening, but there's a potential ceasefire. I'm not exactly sure what's happening, but there's some movement there. So there's that. 2025 is just kind of kicking off with a bang in a variety of ways. So we're going to honor that today with agreement number 4. Do you know what it is?
My body is my best friend.
Yeah, so that's agreement number 4. So I'll go over how this agreement came about, but we got to ground ourselves first before anything. So let's just close our eyes. Get ourselves in time and space. Maybe drop the shoulders, drop the jaw. And then just start to notice breath. And then take some really deep breaths into the nose and then out through the mouth. Blessing does it so good. Do it 2 more times, Blessing. Yeah, and then maybe make some movements with the body, like shoulders, neck. Yeah. My friend Nicole is a fabulous yoga teacher. I took the phrase from her, give her mad props for this. So she teaches as if her body is her best friend, and then she talks to other bodies in that way too. And that's kind of how she navigates her life. And then she kind of like seeks for joy in the body and then in the world. And so that's where this agreement came from. And I explored lots of ways in the book about how that for me came about. But I want to get a 12-year-old's perspective on this. Well, soon to be
13.
When's your birthday?
The 23rd. Next week.
Oh my gosh. So
can't
old.
wait.
Yes. I want to talk about how the body is the best friend. But Blessing, do you have any like personal updates you want to share? Blessing, when you think of your body as your best friend, what does that mean to you? Talk to me about it. What do you think? What parts of your body that you love or consider your best friend? Or what does that even mean in your 12, 13-year-old brain?
Your heart.
Oh, that's cool. Say more.
Your heart, what I mean by that is if you have like friends, right?
Yeah.
And friends are supposed to fight. They're supposed to disagree on things. If you and your friend do not fight and you guys don't disagree on anything, that's not a true relationship with your friend. Because if you don't fight or disagree, you are afraid to lose them if you fight and disagree with them. So it's okay to fight and disagree, to like share your feelings.
Wow. That's so cool. So, you know what's so cool about your brain? Is that when we started this podcast, I can see the growth and development even just from like day one to now. So that's like a concept that you just described that most adults don't actually get. Right? Like, and you just described the whole theme of my third book. Not that I was going to talk about that today, but like, hey, she just brought it up. I know, right? Whoa, about how connection needs to exist within the heart first, especially when you disagree, because that's how the body connects with other bodies. Well done, Blessing. I mean, Micah, who's kidding you? Oh, right, I raised you. You might think a little like me. Maybe just a little. Oh my God, so cool. Okay. Yeah, so the body really, if we're talking about relationships and the body itself and how we connect to others, we have to create space from the heart. Like Blessing just broke it down, with other people, with the expansion of different perspectives all the time. Now, I'm going to say something a little bit crazy since we just talked about Trump. The third book that I'm writing is about how do we make that possible across political and party lines, like political lines? Like, how do we still create connection from the heart with other people that think so drastically different from us, that we may even think of as being harmful to Black bodies, BIPOC bodies, right? How do we protect ourselves, ground ourselves enough so that the love is still there from the heart? That's the question that I'm posing in book number 3, because that's where we got to go. Like we are at a threshold, we are at a time in which if we don't do that, we will become so separated that all we will see is death and war. And that's not a path we want to go down, is it, Blessing?
No.
No. All right, tell me about your body. How do you love your body as your best friend?
My brain, that's what, right? Your brain thinks differently. Like your brain's in charge. Your body might want to do something, but your brain is telling them not to, and it persuades it to go the right way. Like, since Monday is MLK Day, let's see. We were in social studies and we saw this video of MLK and it was talking about him. And in the video, it was talking about how he persuaded people into his path, into his way of thinking. And he started a protest at Washington, D.C. And there was over like 20 million people. There was a lot of people there. He persuaded them into thinking of the world differently with his brain. And he changed it a lot. And now we have a day after him because he persuaded so many people that one day. And it's just like your brain. If you think something and you don't share it, nothing's going to change. And if you do, then there's going to be a lot of change in the world. And you can have a lot more friends, and it's going to be a lot more easier communicating with people if they get you and you get them.
Blessing, you're one of the smartest people I've ever met. Oh my God. So the brain is super important to the body, which is connected to the heart, which also has to do with everything that Blessing just broke down, which is courage. And the main one you really talked about was love. And courage, right? So if you think about Martin Luther King and all the things that Blessing described that he just did, what he really embodied was love, and in a brave way to really shift a system in a very, very powerful way. but really, really leading from a position of love. Like he was pretty strong, and that created some
self-esteem too.
Oh, created self-esteem in your body?
Yes.
Say more. Break that down, kid.
Self-esteem is like when you have control over your own body. It's like if you don't want to do something that someone else is telling you to, and you say no, and they keep pushing and pushing, and you go, no, I have self-esteem, and I'm not going to do this because I don't like it, and nor does my body. You cannot force me to do something that you want me to do. It's like if they want you to do something but you don't, and they keep pushing and pushing, and you guys fight all the time, sometimes it's best to just walk away. Sometimes it's just best to walk away from the people that you do not need in your life, and the people who are important in your life will always see the good and bads of you.
Oh my God, and they're going to love you all together, right?
They're going to love you always, who you are and how you are.
Yeah, that you just described like every piece of the embodiment of Martin Luther King.
Yep.
Right, like all the pieces. Wow. I'm impressed with your parents. They're pretty smart to create a kid like you. I'm very impressed. Thank God you're on this podcast with me. So we also call that in other ways like confidence or internal power or any different words that embody just being grounded and then moving from that place. If people haven't noticed, we got some new swag just to like put that into. So we got some new hats.
Yes.
I got a new shirt. AyanaFreedom.com. You can check us out. And the swag's not up on there yet, but it will be. So I'm trying to, figure different stuff out. So maybe if you want to do a poll, you can tell us which hat you liked best. In the book, I'm going to read a little bit, but in the book I describe a exercise that I did. It involved blessing and it involved my friend Christy. How we talk about our bodies have everything to do with how we feel. So it has everything to do with how we feel. However, the thoughts that come in your head often are negative, not because that's how you think about yourself, but because you're internalizing what the external world is telling you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Too? Okay. If you went off just media images, right, which is what we're flooded with, TV, phones, what you hear, what you see, if the brain goes off of that, Blessing mentioned the brain. So you're getting snapshots into what's good and what's bad constantly on the media. And Blessing has it more because in my age, at your age, when I was your age, did not have like this thing called a cell phone. I mean, we started to have like beepers, and there was like flip phones, and then, you had beepers and you picked up a phone. Like it was a whole thing. It was connected to the wall.
Oh,
she's like, oh,
a lanyard? Or not a lanyard, a landlord.
No, landline.
Oh, landline.
Landlord, that's what. But now we have this plethora of just screens, right? And Meta, oh God, we're not going to get into all that because that's like so dramatic right now because TikTok is down or whatever. There's like a plethora of just access to screens, but also algorithms and what you see and what you take in have everything to do with how you think about yourself. So let that download for a minute. Yeah. 90% of your thoughts that you think on a daily basis aren't true. What they are is just a repeat of those images. Did you know that, Blessing? Mm-hmm. You did?
Yes.
How?
Because if somebody says something mean about you and you look in the mirror and you're like, wait, that's not true.
Oh,
I got a lot of compliments today. That's not true. They're just jealous.
Yes. But what about like on your phone? Like, does any part of looking at your phone, I know you don't have like Instagram and all that, but like, does your phone, you have YouTube, any part of those videos or anything make you feel bad about yourself?
No.
Maybe that's because I control it so much.
No, it's because when you get an app like YouTube or TikTok, you like you follow someone on TikTok, I'm guessing, I don't know, but on YouTube you subscribe to someone, it will be all over what you're watching. So I subscribe to people with hair videos, people with like funny attitude.
Yes.
So every time I'm scrolling, I don't feel that. I laugh all the time because I've subscribed to those people, and they post funny content, and it's really fun. So I don't
Gotcha.
feel
Yeah. So there is a way to sort of develop what you see in the most positive way. However, white supremacy is sneaky. It gets in there anyway. So it's like subconscious. So it's like almost the subconscious brain is always working against you because of the images that you're seeing in the world. And that's just because of white supremacy wants to hold up this whole system of white people having privilege and people of color not. Like that is the sort of bottom line of that. And the images that you see, regardless of whether you like it or not, that is sort of the goal. And that's the goal with all of it. So you have to undo that piece. And so I'm just trying to be aware of like what's in your thoughts, what you think, and to break down where it's actually coming from. Now, having said that, some things you can do. So I did this exercise in which I was post-divorce. I was struggling quite a bit. Didn't realize at the time it was related to menopause and the breaking down of the body hormonally. Not that the divorce wasn't hard, but it interacted with it in a way that made it extremely hard. So it was like 3-year span of really rough roller coaster of emotions. And so I'm working on that, and I'm coming out on the other end, and I'm finally seeing the light. Ah, I have some of my energy back. I know what to eat. I know how to move my body, but I had to shift it all. It took some time. I know. Am I a little happier lately?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right? I got my smile back and a little bounce in my step back. But for a while there, I was just like sleeping. I couldn't do much. Blessing was like, Mom, at night you're always on your phone, and you're just like, can't do, like, it was rough. So I did this activity in which I sort of like was writing down all the negative thoughts in my head. And some of them, like, because I've gained a lot of weight in menopause. So some of it's like, you look bigger, like, the negative stuff that I don't even want to repeat out loud. You're fat, in other words. Like, all the terrible things. You don't look good today. I had bags under my eyes that were just lack of sleep, just the turmoil, nightmares, all the stuff. It was showing on my body. And so when I looked in the mirror, all the negative thoughts came. And so I tried this exercise of like, if I'm really my best friend and my body's my best friend, would I say those things to that person? So I wrote them all down. And then I pictured myself saying them to my best friend, Christy, and Blessing. And I literally said them out loud, all those negative things, picturing I was saying it to them. I've never cried so hard in my life because it was like so sad. I would never, ever say anything so hurtful or harmful to people that I love so dearly. So I had to shift that narrative. How would I understand the thoughts. I understand where they're coming from, right? Some of them are just hormonal driven at this point, but I got to stop myself and reframe it. And because that is what my body was hanging on to, was those thoughts. And I wasn't even in a place where I could interrupt them. Now I am. And it doesn't mean it doesn't happen. Doesn't mean I don't get insecure about the belly that I've now developed. Not the 6-pack anymore, right? I'm even saying it now with some, unlove. But it's there, and I have to do the work. And I do love my body. I do Reiki every time I'm having difficulty with the belly. And so it's just a part now where I don't wish it away, where I just accept it and now I love it. And so that's the path I'm on. But for a while there, it was really, really hard. So if that's, and doing that exercise interrupted that big time. You said something the other day that I was laughing at that I thought was great. Because I think part of might be hard for you is being a person of color, particularly dark, Black, on Cape Cod with all these sea of white people. What do you think about that?
I have more control over the things that come out of my mouth. Like,
Yeah.
They think something, it comes out of their mouth. Fast.
Yep.
They think something, they have to say it. Before I got my braids done yesterday, we were driving to the place, and I'm like, oh, Mom, guess what? I had the best comeback. And she's like, ooh, what was it? So I'm like, this popular girl in my grade was like, ew, look at Blessing's hair. It's so crusty, you run it straight. Why did she do that? Blah, 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 blah. So one of my friends told me this, and this is what I said. I'm like, 1, you're not wearing my hair. 2, you don't get to comment on it. And 3, if you don't like it, who cares? Because it's my hair and you're not wearing it. So, bye-bye. Yeah.
Bye-bye. Blessing and I have had this conversation about her hair before. It's like, and sometimes like you have these gorgeous braids that you see right now. And sometimes she won't want to take her hair out and go to school without them because she'll get comments and people will touch it. And it gets really this weird place of like being a person of color in the world of seeing white people. Right. But my point to her was like, you're in a place now where you're grounded enough in that, like, I want you to try to practice, right? Like your hair is gorgeous with or without braids. It is what it is. It's beautiful African-American hair. You're gorgeous. I mean, my God, who gives a shit? Like, we just got to be in it, right? And not that I want her to be harmed, but I do want her to do what she did and being articulate about it and then bringing it home and talking to me about it and then practicing how we can navigate those really difficult times of being a person of color in a sea of white people in the world. Because it's hard, right? There's been times where people have reached out to touch Blessing's head when she was little, like, oh my God, you're so cute. Just like, and I swatted them away. Like, do white people do that? To each other?
No. No. You would not see someone straight up come up to you if you were a stranger in the middle of a random place. If you were a stranger, you would not see some white lady go up to another one and be like, "Oh, I love your hair," and just touch it without asking.
Right. Like, what is that?
But they do it to us. We're not human. We're a statue. We're human too, and you need to have self-conscious.
Yes.
You need to have personal space.
Yeah, have fucking personal space. My God.
People need personal space. It's their own bubble. You don't just come up and pop their bubble. It's take a minute and think.
Oh, wait, that needs to be a sound. You don't just pop their bubble. Ooh, you did that good. Do it again. Oh, that's good. Yeah, just don't pop their bubble. Just everyone has a safety net.
Yeah.
And it's okay. And particularly BIPOC bodies that have been through generational trauma and slavery and have been harmed 90% of the time. So if you're a white person, do me a favor. Know that that's a trauma body walking around in the world. And so your job is not to how can I harm it more? Your job is how can I love that more? How can I love that person more? How can I make the world safer for them?
Instead of coming up to touch their hair, maybe go, "Hey, I love your hair.
How about that?
It's really nice." Right? Mm-hmm.
Yes, how about that? So simple.
Yes.
White people, I still love you. Right? You got 2 brothers and pretty damn cool.
Yes, they're super cool.
Yeah.
One of them, right, is the oldest, and he is 23, and he lives up in Boston, and you know what he does for a living? Drives a truck around, gives homeless people food, blankets, anything they need to for the winter, right? Really nice. And then my other brother, really badass.
He's really badass. What does he do, listen?
He's in the army, and he is surrendering our country.
Mm-hmm.
He is a 3 R&D Ranger.
Mm-hmm.
He's really cool.
So shout out to Sean and Holden. We love you both.
Shout out. Love you.
We love you both. You're pretty damn cool.
Mm-hmm.
Your dad's all right.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. Jason, we also love you.
He does DCF.
He's a supervisor at DCF. This is correct.
Yes, which is Department of Family Children Services.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
do you know what your dad does for a living?
Yeah. If there is a child or a kid who is not safe in the like in their home or something, he will go up there, check on them and stuff. And sometimes they get taken out just for a while, so like they can talk to the parents, or if a kid is in the hospital and their parents cannot visit them, he will go up and sit with them.
Yeah.
So they don't feel lonely. And also sometimes, like, he goes to court for kids too. It's like he talks about what he saw when he was on the job or something. Yeah.
I love it. I'm glad you know. Do you know what your mom does?
Yes, she does.
There's a lot.
This.
Can you?
Yes, I think I can
break it all down.
She does this, which is with us. This is our little thing. And then she has this business, right? It's this nonprofit. And then she also does yoga part-time and then Reiki part-time. Yeah. And she has this workshop at this like new place that's really cool. It looks like a cabin. It's super cool.
Called Altamitas.
Altamitas. Yeah. And she does, I'm guessing massages, because you have the massage chair in there.
Oh, that's for Reiki.
Oh, that's for Reiki.
Yeah.
So Reiki at the massage chair. She has like private little sessions with people. She has therapy. She has a therapy session. And are you still doing the job with the
Family Resource Center?
Yeah.
Yes.
She does that.
Yes. Wow.
She has a lot.
You got it. Well done. I'm also an author.
Yes. 2 books. Almost 3.
Almost 3. Yeah. Oh my God. Speaking of, I'm going to read some of the book. Just so that we can get an idea of what the essence is of using your body as your best friend. So this is chapter 5 from Unfuck You're Stuck.
Yes.
Yeah. I was in my home office laying on my mat sometime in the spring of 2021. Once again feeling lost, isolated, and my purpose was shaky. My body was numb. I knew I needed to move, but moving fast didn't feel good anymore. And power yoga felt like too much effort at that moment in time. I grabbed my computer and remembered my friend Nicole was teaching an online class. She's an incredible human. She was one of the women that took my 500-hour yoga teacher training with me and was in my BIPOC cohort. It's a very different conversation when you can get people of color in a room without whiteness getting in the way of health, yoga, and equity conversations. What a fucking gift that group was. It changed my whole perspective on how to teach and how to incorporate all bodies in a room without having to teach from a dominant culture perspective anymore. As I lay on my mat that day, I remember sadness rising and my energy dropping. I decided to take Nicole's class. She guided us slowly, as the goal was really to ground us. That I needed more than I knew. I closed my eyes and just let her voice fill the room. She began talking about how she was going to address our best friends, our bodies, and our job was to get out of the way. The way she put that in context was different than I had ever heard before. She didn't just start talking to our best friend. She asked permission. She gave us permission for her to carry all of our emotion and pain that our best friend might have been holding that day. I was actually able to hand over some grief, some tears, and a whole lot of fear. She was holding such a safe space over the computer that I could feel it and I could allow myself to breathe. She used words that were structured, detailed, but so loving and funny. I didn't get too deep in the grief because her laughter would come through. It was deep like her voice, and I could feel the vibration. It was the detachment of her speaking to my best friend instead of me that gave me space to not worry about anything. She had me. My body is my friend, I thought. My body is my best friend. I had not been treating it that way. For the first time, I could really understand the integration of the concept. and the incredible need for it. I let my knees knock side to side slowly as I kept my shoulders on the mat, breathing with grace, permission, and love. I let Nicole's words wash over me as she talked about forgiveness, how beautiful my best friend is, and how much gratitude it deserved for being my best friend. Because I felt safe with her and her intentions, I was actually able to hand over my best friend for a while and lighten the load. I let go of needing to feel a certain way, or being upset about gaining weight, or focusing on what wasn't there, just the beautiful things that were present. I unpeeled layers of grief about my mom dying that I hadn't been able to before. Those feelings were locked away tight, and she was able to hold space for me that day in a way where I could loosen the grip a little and let some out at my own pace without feeling like a tsunami was coming on. That concept of loving your body as your best friend is an incredible one, but it has to be really thought out, incorporated, and practiced on a daily basis, because it's really easy to slip back into communicating negative things, harmful things, even dangerous things with our thoughts that can really harm our bodies. We'll take a deep breath in. I think 2025 is going to be fucking bitching like rocking. I wasn't sure. People kept telling me that. You're the snake or whatever it is. Like, what? What? I don't feel that. I feel it now. I see it now. It's all about like rebirth and energizing and new things coming and becoming. And ooh, there's a whole lot of brightness and lightness coming in.
One thing.
Even though we have a leader that is representing the opposite, there's a lot of people behind the scenes connecting in ways that they've never connected before, and that's what I'm tapping into, and that's what my vibration is feeling. Yes, Blessing, sorry, go ahead.
If you want to know what your spirit animal is for this year,
yeah,
you have to. My Chinese spirit animal is a dragon because I was born in 2012. So if you were born in 2012, your Chinese spirit animal is a dragon, and if you were born in 2011, your Chinese spirit animal is the rabbit.
Wait, what am I?
I don't know. I don't know the Chinese spirit animals for.
Do you know what year I was born?
Yes.
No, you don't.
Wait, you were born in 19.
I don't know that you do.
1994.
Oh, yeah, exactly. I was born in 1994.
No.
So glad that I was born in 1994. That's I look like it. Don't I look like it? We're just gonna say that.
I have no clue.
I know. It's okay. We're just gonna let that ride. What's your favorite part of your body? You talked about your heart and your brain. Something else?
My confidence.
Mm-hmm.
And
what about like a body part?
Actually, no, my feet.
Here. So, what size are your feet?
Oh, a 10 in women's.
Just kind of like the biggest feet.
I have big feet. Yep.
Pretty cool.
I like my feet because they take you anywhere you want. If like you feel stressed or something, maybe sit down, close your eyes, and put on a favorite scene from like your movie or something or a show, and close your eyes and just let that scene play. Ooh. And put your feet down on the ground, right?
Yeah.
And you just want to breathe and maybe move your feet just a tiny bit while the scene is playing.
Mm-hmm.
And it feels like you're there in your favorite scene of that movie or show, and your feet can take you anywhere you want to go. So that's why I like my feet.
Yeah, actually, I'm gonna talk about my feet too, because you just made me think of so I talk a lot in yoga about trying to allow the bodies to be with the earth, but then I also talk about the feet, because the feet, if you have feet, right? Some people are disabled and don't have all body parts. But if we do, that's like a luxury. And I think sometimes people forget that. So I just always am so grateful for like allowing the feet to walk on the earth and just be with the earth and connect us to it every step of every day. Like, say thank you. Thank you for joining this episode of first one of 2025 for Unfuck You're Stuck. And please find out more information on ayanafreedom.com. You can find me on Instagram, Unfuck You're Stuck. That's all we got for today.
Yes.
Peace out.
Peace
Bitches,
out.
We love you.
Wait, we have one more thing to do.
I love you, blessing.
Yes, I love you too.
Okay, cool. What else are we doing? Oh my God.
I want one more thing.
I'm really hungry.
Wait. It's the out of the intro 2025. Woo!
Unfuck Your Stuck is being produced by Lemonadio. When life gives you lemons, make radio. We encourage everyone to listenhappier.com.